Presentation is done by 5 teachers working at Klonowska University in Sweden. I would like to ask Erik for continue the presentation.
Thank you, Camilla. There are many teaching approaches. We can divide them into some types. First, face-to-face teaching. It is the traditional teaching. All activities are taken in the classrooms. It facilitates immediate, real-time engagement. Second, online teaching. In this teaching approach, all activities are taken online. It allows studies at any place, at any time, and at any frequency. It facilitates automatic assessment, quick help, and support. And it provides good interactions among students, between teacher and students. Blended and hybrid teaching. It combines the advantages of both face-to-face and online approach. The problems with blended and hybrid teaching will be how to facilitate the engagement and how to provide some feelings of togetherness, which is very important for the first year university study. Indira.
Thank you, Erik. Yeah, and as you see, we have actually landed right here when where we decided that when we, of course, all of us were forced to teach hybrid because of the COVID-19. And then, of course, the first challenge is how the COVID-19. And then, of course, the first challenge is how we keep the student engagement up. So that was the main issue we had last year, and that is the main reason we take up main reason of this article as well. So first of all, we discuss we have focused our context is a first year students, and why first year students, because these are the introduction courses, of course, and engaging first year students will facilitate will help with attrition rate, which can be very high, and of course if student feels engaged, the attrition level will be lower. And when students are engaged, actually, they will learn better. And at the end, of course, for us teachers, we will have a better course evaluation. And how to engage students then? And we will, as you will see the details after me from my colleagues. But it is, first of all, of course, it's about active learning, and active learning is anything that students actively do except listening to the lectures. During the classroom, during the classes. And second one is the interaction between instructors and students. And we thought that that was one of the most important things during the hybrid teaching, because and there are different ways we started and did interaction with our students. And of course, at the end, I can see that we mixed up the last slide, last words. It's a strong learning environment, of course, it will be at the very end, because by providing this place, space, and the possibilities to interact, we also provide a strong learning environment. And next, I will give my colleague Camilla will continue.
Thank you, Indira. And now we are going to present our case study. The case study is based at the Klonowska University. This is a small university in southern Sweden. Because this is a small university, we provide a very close relationship between the teachers and the students. And the case study is provided in 2 very large courses, introduction courses for the first year students. And they are provided in 2 different programs, one program in the computer science program, and then the other one in the business administration program. For the computer science, we have a software development program, and there is a huge course, introduction course. This is very important to mention that these courses are both presented for the first year students. This is so important that to engage the first year students, that the newcomer to the university, that they will get a feeling of how to study and how to engage the students from our perspective, from the teacher's perspective, is very, very important. For the introduction to computer science, we have two groups of students. We have international students, and then we have Swedish students. And we are two teachers, and we could observe that the correlation or communication is very, very important aspect. It's not the communication only between the teachers, it's also a communication between the students by themselves, as well as between the students and the teachers. So if we look at this example of this picture, so we can see the communication is in all directions between the English students, Swedish students, teacher one, teacher two. It's like a crossing all these partners to involve students, to help students. We provide at the very beginning of the course, we started the presentation forum that the students could present themselves on the learning platform. We also, as a teachers, because the whole course was moved from the campus course to the online course, we as a teachers, we were present before and after the lectures, just to have a communication with the students. We also have a collaborative learning. We also have a discussion and formative assessments. We provided many quizzes, and of course the discussion after the quizzes or the problems that we put to the discussion during the lectures. Besides that, this is the first time we provided a Discord platform for the communication with the students online. And more about the courses you can find in the article, as well as you can also go to the Kristianstad University homepage, and you can also find this course there. And I am going, my colleague Lisa will continue with the second course.
Yes, thank you, Camilla. The second course. Yes, thank you, Camilla. The second course in the case study is a course in marketing and organization in the business administration program. It's a large course with 195 new students, and it covers 15 credits. Our pedagogical starting point has been student-centered learning. And with that, of course, we want to facilitate our students' learning, but also engage them. The question is how to do this, especially in hybrid times. In front of you, you see our 4 cornerstones, which we have used to design the course. Firstly, we believe very strongly in variation. Variation when it comes to teaching methods, when it comes to the different types of assignments, but also in collaboration partners and teachers. Secondly, we always use the students' current knowledge and their understanding as a starting point. We rest this belief on that we think that all learning is about relearning. And by starting with what the students already know, it becomes easier for them to grasp the new knowledge. Practically, this means that we use cases that they are familiar with and examples which they can relate to. Thirdly, we base the course on active learning, as previously mentioned. Active learning, we believe this engages the students, and it also helps them to reach a deeper level of learning. As an example, we have chosen to use real-time online lectures in contrast to pre-recorded, which means that we can be flexible, we can answer questions and adapt the content towards what the students find difficult. We use breakout rooms and can create interactions between students as well. Another example is that we have a business simulation that we use. This business simulation both means that they can practice their theoretical knowledge, but it also activates all kinds of students. Finally, a key part is societal collaborations in this course. And why is this so important? We believe that it helps our new students to envision their future careers. It also creates a sense of belonging and it becomes an identity that they now are business students. And of course, it helps them to see the practical value of the theories that we teach and introduces for our students. Concretely, we have 7 guest lectures on the course in different formats. We have 6 different cases, and we also have an innovation event in collaboration with an external partner. So this is our course and the key features that we believe is how we survive the hybrid times. And how did it go, Per? I leave it for you.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. From the beginning, we can also see that the overall impression from the course is very high from the students. And despite the challenges, they say that they have done a good work and have a good course. And one of the cornerstones, as Lisa said, is active participation. And also the students felt that they were active during the course and also by all the activities and communication that we actually have. And also we could see that the result in terms of the course, in terms of what the students actually go into, we have the same result as we did the years before. So we are very pleased with the happening in the course and also the result that we actually have. So overall, despite the challenges and despite the way we actually did in the course, we felt that the new way of hybrid teaching was a good part from us. So thank you. Thank you for listening and see you in the seminar.
Okay, so that concludes your presentation. Okay, I wanted to make sure I didn't want to jump in too quickly here. Okay, we have several questions here. What percentage of contact hours were face-to-face?
You start, Camilla.
I'm not sure if I understand the question. For the face-to-face contact, if you have a face-to-face teaching, so we can have face-to-face contact during the lecture, so we can meet all the students at the same time. But if you have a Zoom meeting or Zoom teaching, then you cannot talk to or it's difficult to contact the students on the when you cannot see the students. And also the students have to wait before they can ask a question.
Aurora, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, at the business administration program, we met physically once a week. So we had the seminars physical and the rest was online. And we solved this by dividing them in small groups. So then we have them in we divided 195 students into 12 different groups and met them in smaller for case discussions. And then the rest, the lectures and the business simulations and the guest lectures was on Zoom.
So it was because we had 4 teachers in the course. That means that each teacher ran 2 slots, so to say. That's why we had 8 different groups, right?
And 12.
And 12 sometimes, yeah. So that we run sometimes twice within the day. So that's why we could cover almost 200 students with 4 teachers.
Yes, and for the computer science program, we switched everything online, so that was no face-to-face teaching at all.
Okay.
Are there other questions? It sounds to me, well, other people might be thinking, it sounds to me that you kept this very engaging with the breakout rooms and simulations and case studies. Were the guest speakers remote, or were they part of the face-to-face?
There we did that we were invited to the university, so we sat like we are sitting here. So we met physically, but for the students it was on Zoom lectures. And that also made that we could have a dialogue, and I could facilitate a little bit with questions and so on. And we tested a little bit different approaches, but we ended up with the interviews between teacher and guest lecturers sitting like this, the most effective for engaging the students.
What problems did you run into with technology? You said these were the first year students.
Yeah.
So how did that work with did everybody have enough equipment? What's it like at your university for what students had at home?
For us, it was no problem with the technology. They were actually better at it than us the teachers, because they're in that generation. But there were problems in managing the chat room at the same time as we were focused on lecturing. So actually we have a student assistant that was an older student that as a bysitter who took the questions and kept order in the chat room a little bit and could then sum up things and questions. So we got like an extra dialogue partners running the chat room, but that surprised us a little bit.
Like the moderator. Yeah,
a moderator, exactly, because it was difficult to lecture and look at the chat room at the same time and so on. And I'm not sure about your experience, Camilla, with technology.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, computer science students, they are very well equipped before they come to the university. And even the university have this possibility to loan the computers or laptops. We also have a very good internet connection, so there is no problem with that. The problem is most that, one other thing that we also mentioned, because we have two groups of students, we have two different programs, I mean the same program but with two different languages, Swedish students and the international students. So even we have these international students that came to Sweden, so not only that they are the first year students, they are coming to the completely new environment, completely different culture, and to manage them and help them at the same time going like in 100% work. It's also very challenging for them. But what we realized that with this, in the computer science program, we we started this Discord platform. And for the computer science students, they usually work during the evenings. So Eric, who is also a co-author on this paper, he was working during the evening time and answering on the students' questions in this platform. So that was also extra time.
Yes, a lot of extra time during this switch and adjustments. And well, it sounds like you did a lot of things right. It sounds like it was very successful. So now what? What of this will you keep, and what will you rid yourself of to go back to face-to-face? Are you going back to face-to-face in the fall as your next semester? Will it be all on campus again?
Next semester for the business students would also be hybrid. So we will have the same style of teaching this autumn with physical meetings in small groups only. But hopefully there will be no restriction the next year. But then we actually can see that the students like to be able to work from home some days a week. We think that we will continue to have some of the lectures, for example, like this, instead of in the classroom. One thing that we noticed was that to ask questions was much easier for the students in a chat room than in a room with 200 students raising your hand saying, I don't understand. So it also had positive effects. So we think that we will definitely change. And yeah.
So there have been some good things to this.
Yeah, we have to see the bright sides of these. Yeah, for sure.
As long as we can stay safe, right? Are there any other questions about what the future might hold for this program? Or any other questions?
I can just add that we were very curious of the results, and then we could see that was almost the same number of students that passed both courses compared to the previous face-to-face versions. So yeah, that's also a positive result from this hybrid education.
Yeah.
So there's your presentation for next year, right? tell us how this turned out, and great. Okay, I don't see any more questions. If you have anything else you'd like to say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It is very interesting and very upbeat, and you got to work every